So today we're going to look at comparing and ordering numbers. So when we're comparing and ordering numbers, we're looking back at our place value chart. And when we think of our place value chart, if you remember from the previous video, we talked about having sections of 3. So let's say we have a number. Let's give ourselves a number here and there we go. So we have our units. So we have our first period, which is our ones period, then we have our thousands, then we have our millions, and if we have more, we can keep going and we have our billions. So each one consists of the 3 that we're talking about. We have our ones, we have our tens, our hundreds, and then we have our 1,000s, and it keeps going to our 10,000s, our 100,000s, and then we go to our millions. So you look at the numbers in units of 3. So when we're comparing numbers, so let's say we have this number, and let's say we have another number. And when we're comparing them, we look at which number is greater, which number is less. And so when we're looking at them, you can always just go straight to the millions. You're like, okay, well, they're the same because they both have 4 million in them. But then we go down the road. We say 4 million, yes. So what's next? Okay, they both have 3s in their 100,000s column, so they're still the same. Then you go down the road and you look at the next one. You say, okay, look, in our 10,000s column, the top number has a 6 and the bottom number has a 5. So this is 60,000 here, and then this is our, sorry, I'm just going to use the pointer here. So this is our 60,000, and this is our 50,000. So that tells us right away that this number is an entire 10,000 more. So therefore, this is our greater number, and this is our lesser or smaller number. So let's look at looking at greater than and less signs. So if I was to put a greater than or less sign, and so I'm going to pick another color. And so we have this sign right here, and you guys are used to seeing this sign. So when we're pointing this sign to a greater or a less than, if you look at this side indicates that this is pointing to the bigger part of the number. This is pointing to the smaller. So if you think of, the way I look at it is a hungry alligator. And so if you have an alligator, and here's his teeth, and he's hungry. And so if he's hungry, he has a smaller belly, and he wants to eat the number that is bigger. So he wants to eat the bigger number, and he wants, because he is hungrier. So the smaller point of our greater than less sign points to the smaller number. The more open side points to a larger number. So that's our greater than or less than sign. So here is our first question that we're going to look at. We're going to go through this as an example. So this is our question. We have the area. The area in Canada is, so if you look at this number, let's try to read this correctly. We have this digit is in our millions digit. So we have 9 million. 9. So again, you're putting it in the right spots, and we can do that right here. Let's write it in. So we have our 9 million. That goes there. And then we have our 900,084 670 kilometers. So we put that number in our place value chart so we're able to see it. Let's look at the area of China. And so if we look at the area of China, we have again 9,596,960 kilometers. So you look at those two numbers, and now when it's in a place value chart, it makes it a little bit easier to compare. So you can use a place value chart to compare. So our million is the same. So we go to the next digit down. We say, okay, look at our 100,000s. In Canada, the area is 900,000, and in China, it's 500,000. Automatically, this tells me that China has a lesser area than Canada does. Canada is greater. And how much is it greater by? This is 500 million. This is 500,000. This is 900,000. I know that if I was to subtract 5 from 9, I am left with 4. So 400,000 more kilometers in terms of area Canada has. So again, if I was to use the greater than or less sign, And so I'm not going to write out the whole number, but if I was to do Canada and China, if I was to do my greater than and less than sign, China is less than Canada. And so again, the smaller part points to the part that is less. The open mouth of my alligator is pointing to Canada because China is less. It's hungrier. It's going to eat the bigger number. Okay, so that's a way to think about it. Next, so that's using a place value chart. We can also compare numbers using a number line. So if I have a number line, and here I have the area of Argentina and the area of Greenland. And so you have the area of Argentina, and here it is. Here's my area of Argentina, and here is my area of Greenland. I have a number line, and what I've done is I haven't drawn the whole number line starting from 1, because if I did, this number is too big to do that, so don't do that. Try to go from a number that is closest. So we know that our one of our numbers, they both start in the 2 millions. So I started off in my 2 millions, and then I left 5 spaces, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and my 5th spot is 2,500,000, and then I moved to, again, 5 spaces, and I moved to 3 million. So here are my spots. Again, I can take these numbers and I can put them on the number line. So I look at my numbers. I know they're both in the 2 millions. Yes. Then I go to the next one. My first number, my Greenland, is 2,100,000. So I know that 100,000 is probably going to be somewhere here, right? If this is my 2 million, if it's 1, it's going to be here somewhere. So I can actually put that number in. So I'm going to put in, I'm not going to write the whole number. Well, actually, I can write the whole number. Let's see if I can fit it in, guys. 2,175,600, and that goes right here, around there. And then I'm going to put in my number for Argentina. And Argentina, again, I look at my numbers and I say, I know it's 2 million, yes. It's a 7, a 6. So I know this is 5. This is going to be 6. This is going to be 7. So it's going to be somewhere here. So I go ahead and I plug it in right here. I'm going to plug it in, and I'm going to put that in 2,766,890. And so that's numbers there. So if I was to compare them on the number line, I see that Greenland's population is closer to my 2 million. That tells me it's a smaller number. And Argentina is closer to my 300 million. So it's closer to, my 300 million. So it's closer to my 3 million, not 300 million, my 3 million. So it's closer to that. So it is the larger number. So again, if I was to show you the greater than and less sign, I have Argentina on this side. I have Greenland on this side. Again, Greenland is my smaller number, so that's going to point that way. And that's how we figure that out. Now moving on. Sorry guys, kind of lost you there. That's where did my question go? Oh, there we go. So I went to the question. So here is the question that I have for you. So your first task, it says Taha went on a trip. He traveled, and I have a number there for you. I want you to try to read it. Again, use your periods. You know that this would be my hundreds. This would be my thousands. This would be my millions. So you're going to try to read that number. His best friend, Sahil, went on a trip, and he traveled that much kilometers. Again, read the number. Use a place value chart to show who traveled more. So I want you to go ahead and I want you to put in a place value chart. So pause the video, put it in, and then come back when you're ready. Okay, welcome back. So if I was to put in the place value chart, just to go and put it down really quickly, you don't have to draw too much. So my line just stop there. I have 3 segments. I know this is my 1, this is my 10, this is my 100, and then I have my next 3. This is my 1,000, my 10,000, my 100,000. Then I have my 1 million. I have my 10 million. I have my 100 million. Okay, so there you go. That's my place value chart. Didn't take me too long to do that. Just kind of doodled it out there. And I'm going to put 2 lines because I have 2 sets of numbers that I am comparing. So if I start putting my numbers into there now. Sorry, I'm just trying to get a color, guys. If I try to put my numbers in there now, I have my, let's do how much Taha traveled. We start from the end. So we start from here. We know that there was a 5, and then we keep going. 6, 600, 6,000, 56,000, 456,000, 3,000,000, 23,000,000. So I did it backwards. I went ahead and put my number in, and then I'm going to go ahead and put in Sahil's. So we have 4, we have 44, 344, 4,344, 34,000, 434,000. I keep going. 2 million, and then we have 22 million. And automatically, as I put it in there, I can see very quickly that my 1,000 is in my millions is the same. My million is both the same. Then I go into my 1 million, and I notice that, oh, look at that one. That one's a 3. That one is a 2. Automatically, I know that Taha traveled further because it says who traveled more. We know Taha traveled more. So if I was to go ahead and again show that in a greater than and less than, I have Taha and Sahil. Again, it would point that way. That's how you figure that out. Moving on. Here's your next question. Again, read the question. They are collecting points in a game of Fortnite. And so I want you to, again, use a number line this time and show me how you would find the answer using a number line. So go ahead and pause the video. And welcome back. So if I was to draw my number line, again, really quickly, just a straight line through. Again, I'm not starting from 1, guys. This would take me way, way too long. So let's start from, I know my number starts in the 4, so I'm going to start in my 4 million. And then I get my halfway point. And then I'm at the end. And this is, 4. And I'm running out of space. You wouldn't run out of space. And we have 5 spots. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Perfect. 1, 2, 3, 4. I think I got 5 there. Okay. And then I just go ahead and I start plotting my numbers into my number line. So I go, okay, let's look at this number. This is at 5, 6. So if this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, this is this spot right here. 5, 6, it means it is somewhere around, not quite at this one because this would be 4,600,000 right here. It's not there. It's somewhere here, but close to it. So this is Sahej that we're looking at. That's his score. We know this one, if we look at this one is not at the 6. It's actually very close to our 4,500,000. So this one would be right here, and this would be my friend Harjas. And so Harjas is down here. So now if I look at the numbers on the number line, I know that Harjas's score is less than Sahej's. So if I was to put that again in my greater than and less than, if I have Sahej and Harjas, I know Harjas's score is less than, so Harjas would be that way. Okay, so there we go. That's Harjas and Sahej's scores. Moving on to our... And this is the task that I'm going to let you do at home. So again, greater than and less than, I've given you numbers. You can use a number line. You can use a place value chart, whatever you feel you want to use. Or you can just look at the numbers and try to compare. So try to see which one is greater than, less than. Show me the number signs and show me which one is greater than and which one is less than. Once you're done this question, I have one more extra question for you so you can switch slides. And if you look at this question, it's a challenge for you. It is a challenge to see if you can list these numbers which have now decimal points from less than to greater than. So go ahead and try to figure that out for me. Bring it back to me when we have class once again, and we will take a look at it.